And the temptation to eat one is so strong for absolutely no reason. I need to make this turn around. It's the cat looks so interested in the treats. I have to just turn it around. All right. Video time.
Pretty bad. I mean, it was fantastic. Now it's pretty bad, but I'm not going to talk about that. No, I'm not going to be able to do some drama bait. I'm not doing that. I already did.
I wasn't trying to bait you into drama at all. I was just like asking a normal question. Like it wasn't like that.
Oh,
dude,
it's like how's the weather?
Okay, can I not ask a question? It's a rhetorical question. This happens so much. It makes me so frustrated. Because like this happens to me where I'm talking to people and I guess people know that I do politics or something. And so I'll be talking to them and they're like, oh, you're trying to get a gotcha. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking to you. No, I'm not trying to gotcha. I'm not fucking with you. I'm asking a genuine question. They're like, no, you're fucking with me. I'm like, I never, no, stop, please. I'm just trying to have a conversation. Please. I try my best to not tell people what I do. Like, I try my absolute best to be like, I stream. You know, stuff. Things. You know. It's like, I'm not a debate lord, okay? Debate has broken people's brains for real. For real. IRL people do not gotcha other people. Exactly. Exactly, dude. I'm just gonna say, like, I'm just a dust chatting streamer. Hee. I'm just a hot tub streamer. So that they'll be like, oh, time to show off my prowess, my intellectual prowess. That's what I need to start saying. And then they check my stream and they're like, you're not a hot tub streamer. You lied to me. Okay, video. Guys, focus. We're focusing now.
You know, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, you're right. Okay, so basically, okay.
So what's up? What are you confused about?
All right, listen. Basically, there was like the Nick Merks clip, right?
Yeah.
Some people said good things, some people said bad take. It wasn't even a take, to be honest. It actually wasn't. I was just more trying to inquire, right, about how that works. Like, why is it bad or whatever, you know?
It's bad because it's on a faulty premise that queer people are targeting kids. That's why it's bad, chat. I don't know what Hassan's going to say, but that's why it's bad. It's making the assumption that kids are being targeted, and kids are not being targeted. They're not. Having a TV show that has 2 gay people in it and kids watch that is not targeting kids. That's just having gay people exist.
Yeah. I think people. This is a very polarizing subject, especially at a time when, like, you know, there's insane legislation being written at like every state legislature in the country. So people get very heated about it when something even signals like right-wing messaging. You know what I mean? When someone thinks like, oh, this person is even saying like, I want to be the one who's educating my children. That can mean anything from like, oh, I don't have an issue with like LGBT, concepts being taught to children at an early age or whatever. But I also want to be the one that like explains it to them, all the way to like, my child saw a fucking binky with a rainbow at Target and now he's going to be gay. Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? So because of that broad range.
What's a binky?
Like a.
Dude, God bless. Dude, God bless him.
I don't actually. It's like a pacifier, right? Isn't it?
Okay, yeah, then.
This is a funny way to say pacifier.
The binky.
No! Anyways.
No! I'm so mad. Sharing one brain cell. No! Stop fucking stealing my fucking content, you socialist fucking champagne fuck.
So that's the reason why people immediately and understandably get very passionate about it, because the thing that Nick Merks was responding to was like these group of like right-wing weirdos that went to Glendale to protest a school saying like that they were going to do Pride Month at school. And then fights broke out. And a lot of the dudes that like actually attended this fucking counter protest, like the anti-LGBT side, weren't even from the school district. Most of them didn't even have fucking kids. You know what I mean? Like, they're like known people in Los Angeles, in the greater like Southern California area, that go to schools and do this almost for a living. Some of them are literal Nazis. Some of them are like fucking Proud Boys and shit, right? And they're there to like fuck shit up. They're right wingers, and they're like, yeah, like, we think that a school should not actually even acknowledge that like children can be gay. You know what I mean? Or any acknowledgement of kids being gay or queer is like immediately gross and morally degenerate, because like they often will just say that immediately signals gay sex. You know what I mean? They like sexualize a mode of existence when it's not.
Okay. So my understanding was that basically, I just think sometimes like generally, okay. I just thought overall, sexuality is taught really like sometimes too young. What are your thoughts about that?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh God, sexuality is taught too young. Oh no. Wait, I dropped something. No, XQC. So this is like another conflation that like another thing that conservatives have successfully gotten people to constantly conflate. Teaching people about very basic attraction is not teaching kids to be sexual. Come on. Ugh. I need to get a carpet for this room, so like a flat carpet or a hard carpet or whatever. But anyways, like realistically speaking, kids experience attraction even when they're young. Like sexuality does not equal sex. Sexuality equals attraction. And like every single person in here, probably almost every single person here, has had crushes when they were like 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. Like I had crushes when I was in fucking elementary school. I didn't know the concept of sex, but I knew the idea of like, I want to hold hands with this person. You know? Like at like 7. And you can teach people that like you can want to hold hands with whoever you want to hold hands with without teaching them anything about sex. You don't need to go to a bunch of 7-year-olds and be like, and this is what you do when you have sex, and here's the come button. No one is saying that. We're just talking about like, hey, you can like whoever you want to like. And most importantly, if you don't want to be around someone, you don't have to be around someone. You're just teaching them basic consent with like if you don't want someone to hug you, you don't have to be forced to hug them. Come button. You guys don't know about the come button? Everybody knows about the come button. Let's be real. Okay? The come button is inside the asshole. Yes. That is the prostate. Like, who is saying gawk gawk to a child? Like, no one is teaching kids the grapefruit technique. Okay? We're just teaching kids, hey, if you want to hold hands with Sally, that's okay. And if you want to hold hands with Billy, that's also okay. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's the only thing. That's literally it. You know? And like, that's what part of that is wrong. I feel like you only think that like that would be wrong if you're like homophobic. What is the grapefruit technique? It's that one video that's like, what about cooties? Oh, cooties that's terminal. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at the sound effect. Show? You're not gonna be banned? I'm pretty sure that in the video there's a whole ass dildo. Like, I can't show that. You're fucking crazy. Also, Hypo Rave, thank you for the 3 months. I think I missed like a sub or something earlier. I'm sorry if I missed one. Honestly, the audio of that video might just get you banned. Yeah. Just Google grapefruit technique, chat. You will find it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the like, because there's people that are much more knowledgeable than me on this, as far as like children's education. But I don't know what age like you start teaching kids sex ed. I was just talking about this. But as far as like gay people existing, it's the moment that you tell your child that, there's a mom and a dad, is it perfectly valid to also teach them that there are dads and moms. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, and that's another good
Yeah.
point, right? Like, if you're okay with teaching kids like this boy's gonna be a lady killer. This little guy's gonna break so many hearts. You're already teaching them about like sexuality. You're already teaching them about like attraction. But for some reason, if you teach them about same sex attraction and you tell them, hey, it's okay to like whoever you like, then it's not okay.
Yeah. See,
What?
yeah. I think if it's like all about that, sure, right?
How is XQC's skin tone the same as his hair color, the same as his background? I'm sorry. I'm being white phobic again. I'm sorry. Okay. That's insane. That is a crazy color combo. That's insane. Too far. I know, dude. Dude, like go outside, man. Like I'll take you on a date outside, okay? We'll get you some light. We'll get you some sunlight. We'll get you some melanin. Maybe if you spend enough time around some brown people, they'll give you some melanin, okay? Cuz this is just insane. This is like translucent level, dude. This is a fucking ghost. Bro, please. You'll probably feel better too if you go out in the sun and get some vitamin D.
Right? Like, bro, I have no dog in this fight. Like, people will say, "Oh, dude, what is this guy? He doesn't have children." Like, what? Like, I'm just inquiring about the actual take that he had. I thought he said, it was mostly about like what they were teaching the kids, whether he wants to do it himself or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think
that's mostly about sexuality itself, though. No, not about like sexual preference or like just the topic of sexuality itself.
so, because like that's why we go back to what I said.
Oh my god. What did he say?
Because it's so broad, people basically in their minds, depending on like what kind of content that they're consuming, make up the worst assumptions. And the right does this all the fucking time. Like right-wing podcasters and like commentators will regularly talk about it like, oh, they're teaching your 4-year-old butt sex at school. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're really gross about it, basically. So for that reason, like a lot of people get lost in the sauce when they.
Like I said earlier, it's based on this premise that like queer people are
Canada
actively...
has dark overcasts and snow 6 months in the year. So let the pale man with the white hair and white background live. He is also just trying to camouflage with a wall when the cops are called cat.
Stop. Stop. Okay.
They see that misinformation and everyone wants to protect their kids. They're like, oh, fuck. Like, they're teaching them that? Like, that's fucked up. That's insane. Like, we need to stop this immediately. And then they have...
Okay.
Then they move along with that irrational thought when that's not the case.
Okay. Do you think that the things being taught are like refined enough where it touches the right subjects and not the wrong one? And it's like, because I feel like if something bad, one small bad thing is packaged, all the other good things, I still think it's probably justifiable to want to do it better.
No,
like,
I think it's refined because this is like...
What? I'm sorry. I don't speak enough Papega to even understand what that was.
And age appropriate because... And not age appropriate in the sense that like some parents might disagree with it, but even then, because of that reason, they have like sheets that they have like approval slips that parents sign regardless. Okay? But it's usually appropriate by people that, you know, develop these packages that know a lot better about like what to teach children at what age. You know what I mean? Like they know what the best way and the best things to communicate to children is.
Yeah, I don't know
different
about
age
education and these things, so it's kind of hard to have like to find an equivalent example of that and how it's been done. I know some people were like equating it to like, oh, what about then if we did about religion, or what did it about politics, and then things get kind of blurry. I don't think these are like one good examples, you know?
Trumpy dumpy and that
Yeah,
2 times.
I mean,
wasn't gonna go get drunk at work.
True. Thank you for the 18 months below, Tony.
It's not like religion or politics. Well, the kids get taught about religion at an early age, then super early age anyway. But as far as like politics goes, it's not the same because like, even though that can also be taught in schools in some ways, oftentimes is, but it's just like, usually it's basically gay people exist, like the way I just described it to you. And
oh yeah, that's fine. If it's all about 100%, fuck all that. Yeah, that's
like
fine.
it's more so like gay people exist,
and it's like okay, chat. So like this is XQC is like
FYI, I developed macrophilia at age 7. I wish that school had taught me about the dangers of war, stomping, and smothering that are often the result of this paraphilia. Denim balls, denim sage.
Stop. What was I trying to say? Fuck, that like CC'd me. Oh, XQC I think is like the perfect example of someone, of like the average normie. Like the average normie who knows basically nothing about like queer rights or like where this discussion even is. Where they come into the conversation like, I just think that these people are right in saying they shouldn't be teaching this to kids. And you have to explain to them, the thing is no one is actually teaching this to kids. And if you find me proof of teachers teaching like 7-year-olds about anal sex or some shit, we agree that person should be pulled as a teacher. The only thing that's happening, like 99.9999999% of what's happening is teachers teaching kids, hey, it's okay to be confused about your gender. That's okay. It's okay if you're not sure. And it's okay to not know what you like and what you like. All that matters is you never let anyone pressure you into doing or being around someone you don't want to be around. The no-no square. We already teach kids about consent. That's it. We're just pushing for more consent, for more like education for kids. Cause like, I don't know if you know this, kids are very easy to abuse because they're fucking children. And you can just tell them things and they're like, really? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, okay. All we're trying to do, on like we being like the left, I guess, or like leftists, I guess, is, hey, you should be happy about who you are. And if anyone ever makes you feel unhappy, you don't have to put up with that. What the fuck is the no-no square? The no-no square is like something they teach kids, which is like, if someone touches basically your genitals, that you should tell an adult that that's your no-no square. And if anyone ever touches that, you should tell an adult immediately. But we don't say it's genitals. We don't say that, we just call it the no-no square to give it so that kids can like have a way to report abuse, right? Hey, don't touch me there. That is my no-no square. Kids are very curious and they'll ask questions about where babies come from and how bodies work. It's the job of parents/school to teach them very basic sex ed. Yeah, we're not saying like, okay, and then if you're feeling really mighty, here's what cunnilingus is, and here's how you do this, and here is this. Okay, for today's lesson, we're watching hardcore porn. Like, no one is teaching kids this shit. No one. We're just talking about like, telling kids, hey, and here's how you destroy that pussy. Hell yeah. No, I play a Doja Cat song. Teachers aren't showing kids how to fucking hit the G-spot. Like, they're just teaching kids, hey, if you like Sally, that's okay. If you like Jim, that's okay. And if someone touches you in a way you don't like, go and tell a teacher immediately. Which, by the way, is good. That's good. That's good. But the reality is that, like, conservatives and Nazis, they don't have popular positions. Okay? It's not a popular position to say, I fucking despise brown people. So conservatives like to repackage it and say, no. Brown people are bombing your schools.
Lisa's sister wanted to dress up as Optimus Prime at the floor of the Transformers convention, but the convention says you can only cosplay as robot cars. Said sentient robotic automobile shares your assigned gender at birth.
This is an actual policy a Florida Transformers convention tried, and they fucked around and found out.
Are you serious? It's important that children know the actual names of their body part as well. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I also agree that, like, that's like a different topic, though, and I don't want to touch that topic just yet. I think that we need to get to the point where, like, medical terms are not taboo to say. The fact that some people feel awkward about saying the word vagina is, like, really bad. It's like a failing of society. Or, like, the fact that some people feel awkward about, like, saying the word vulva or whatever, like, that's not good. That is not good. It's not good. It's literally just the anatomical body part. That's it. What was I trying to say? I was trying to remember something. Thinking? What was I trying to say? Oh, fuck. I was saying something and I got stun locked by that TTS. Okay, whatever. I don't remember. It's okay. You guys get the point. Of what I'm saying. Oh, I remember. Yes, I remember. Like, conservative positions are not popular positions, so they have to repackage them in a way that makes them popular. Saying, I want to genocide the brown people is not a winning position. It's not a position that's going to get voters fired up. You know, it is a winning position. The brown people are bombing your country, and they're stealing your jobs. And so we need to make sure we keep them out. That is a winning position. Okay? You just claim that this group of people you don't like is doing something that they're not doing. And then you're done. And then you got it. So similar to welfare queen back in the 80s, 90s, 20s, 2000s or whatever. Same thing. It's like, okay, we need to make sure we disparage the black community as much as possible. How do we get voters to be on board with this? What if we tell them that they're abusing our systems, that they're abusing our welfare state? Maybe then they'll be willing. Oh, listen, all of these unsavory people are abusing the welfare system. So basically, it's okay for us to be racist. And then you actually look at, like, the offenders, by the way, the people who are actually, like, abusing the welfare state, like the people who have abused food stamps, like 99.99% of them are, like, white people. And also my stance is, if you're at the point where you're abusing the system for a few $100 a month for food, you probably should be getting that money anyways, okay? I'm sorry. You probably should just be getting the money.
Spitting.
Also, Plat Chap, thank you for the 3 months. Thank you.
Danbo describes how dog whistles work. 10/10 streamer PLS never stop.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's just dog whistling. The rich are already abusing the system with tax loopholes for way more money and they need it way less. That is an understatement. That is an understatement to say way less. Rich people abuse the fuck out of the government. It is literally like they hire people let me start that sentence over. They literally hire people with the sole purpose of, how do I take as much government money as possible? Elon Musk's half of his fucking financial success was off the back of taxpayer dollars. Off of him abusing the multitude of government subsidiaries. Subsidies, excuse me. Succession is real life, chat. It's quite literally real life. If anyone here has watched Succession, that is literally what happens in the US. It's straight up Nepo babies and hiring lawyers to make sure that they can abuse the system as much as possible. And then this as well. Yep, this stuff is all thought up in think tanks and group tested to see which specific spin works best for the public. Because again, the best example is like abortion, right? Abortion is wildly unpopular amongst Americans. Anti-abortion laws are wildly unpopular amongst Americans. I think like 70% of Americans are pro Roe v. Wade. Like the current system, or like the previous system we had where it was like, 15 weeks or something, and you could get an abortion no matter what, wherever you are. The vast majority of Americans and conservatives are pro that. They're like, yeah, cool. We're good. We want abortion to be legal. Telling people, hey, you actually don't want abortion to be legal isn't popular. But if you spin it and you say, all of these women are opening their legs and having abortions in their third trimester because they hate God. Guess what? That's more popular. You just have to spin things to make them more popular. It doesn't matter if it's honest. It doesn't matter if it's true. It just matters that people are willing to vote for it. You know? Minimum wage should mandatorily put you out of range for eligibility for... What do you mean? For conservatives, gaming the system is for anything below 6 digits or rookie numbers. Oh, yeah. God, yeah. Same with trans issues. When messaging wasn't getting across, conservatives pivoted to trans people in sports angle. Yep. Dude, yes. It's the perfect example. Like, America is literally built on individualism and letting people do whatever the fuck they want and not putting your nose in other people's business because it's the land of the free. Guess what? Telling people, hey... the position of do whatever the fuck you want with your body is a wildly popular opinion in America. Maybe I don't agree with your choice to get like the words like cum slut tattooed on your face. But you know what? As long as you're not trying to get me to get that tattooed on my face, that's fine. Do whatever you want in your life, I guess. Again, very questionable decision on your part, but that's your American right to do whatever you want. If you're trans and you want to get like massive bazongas, that's your right to do that. It's your right to get on HRT. It's your right to get FFS. It's your right to do whatever the fuck you want, to wear whatever you want. No one should be able to stop you from buying like a dress if you are assigned male at birth. You know? What's FFS? Facial feminization surgery. It's a collection of surgeries that are meant for trans women, but obviously cis women get them too.
A cum slut face tattoo sounds dope though. I would date that guy Lucid Lude.
Just Belmont, thank you for the 25 months. But anyways, it's your right as an American to do whatever you want with your body. It is your right. It's not hurting anyone else. Do whatever the fuck you want. So we can't tell Americans, hey, you should hate trans people because we don't like them. So you have to make it about something else. Hey, trans women are going into bathrooms and assaulting cis women. It's not happening. It's literally not happening. Hey, trans women are destroying in the field of sports for cis women. Literally also not happening. But those are things that get people to argue and get people to eventually strip rights from trans people. This is just like American politics. And it's the same thing with this whole like targeting kids. No one is targeting kids, dude. Fucking no one. You know who's targeting kids? Fucking cereal. I will die on this hill. Cereal is like one of the worst things we invented. It's too tasty. It's literally too tasty. Okay? It's so tasty. You know in supermarkets, they put the colorful kids cereals on the bottom shelves because kids can see those. And they put the healthy cereals on the top. That's literally targeting kids. That's literally targeting kids. You make it super colorful and you make it at eye level. America moment. I never thought of that. What the fuck? Yeah, next time you're in the supermarket, check that out. You know what's not targeting kids? Fucking gay people existing, dude. Okay.
There should be acceptance towards gay people. Like, you shouldn't fucking, like, gay people, trans people exist in society, and you should not bully them. And it's perfectly normal and valid to feel the way that you do. A lot of people will turn around and like take this away, even though it's like basic biology, and they'll make it political. They want to make it political. They'll say like, no, your existence is political, and it's not. It's just how it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. So that part is that part's often lost in the sauce, and like conservatives will just like lie straight up regularly about like what children are being taught at schools, and it's it has created the space where like someone like Nick Merks, who gets to see that kind of commentary regularly, will start developing ideas and start believing in it, because why the fuck wouldn't you? You look at something you see online, you don't expect that person, especially if they seemingly come across as like apolitical, or if they come across as like agreeable, you're not expecting them to lie to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're not expecting them to deliberately lie to you.
Yeah, actually that makes sense, yeah.
And I mean, like, unfortunately, Fox News is like the lying news channel. Many people know this already, but Fox News knowingly ran the Obama birth certificate story during prime television for weeks to try and delegitimize Obama, Hussein, Barack. And then at like 2 a.m. on one day, they corrected it and they were like, oh, the birth certificate is real. Like, they know that they're lying. They literally know. They lied about the Dominion voting system, which is why they got fined to fuck, or got sued to fuck. They lied about the big lie election thing. The Tucker Carlson fucking text messages show it all. They've lied about like the vaccines. Every single person in Fox News is vaccinated. Okay? I have to show this video. It's been a long time since we've watched it. We have to watch. No, I'm not playing the conservative Target rap song, you sick fuck. Like, this shit, okay, this shit kind of go hard, though. But it has one line in it that's fire. That shows, like, you guys will see.
Tonight, we come here to answer a very important question in everybody's mind. Why in the hell are we still doing this? I know there are questions about whether we should gather here tonight because of COVID. Well, they're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. This is the first time the president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague, followed by 2 years of COVID. Just imagine if my predecessor came to this dinner this year. Now that would really have been a real coup if that occurred. I'm not really here to roast the GOP. A lot of people say the Republican Party is too extreme, too divisive, too controlled by one person. Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear this wall down. Today's Republicans say, tear down Mickey Mouse's house. The Republicans seem to support one fella, some guy named Brandon. He's having a really good year. I'm kind of happy for him. They're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. Fox News, I'm really sorry.
Well, why?
Your preferred candidate lost the last election. To make it up to you, I'm happy to give my chief of staff to you all so we can tell Sean Hannity what to say every day.
That goes so hard, dude. That goes so hard. Anyways, how have I not seen this? This song goes so fucking hard. I'll post it in chat in case some people haven't seen it. Oop. I think that's the right link. Anyways, yeah. They all know. Everyone at Fox News knows that the vaccine is completely safe. And chat, if there's anyone in chat who's like unsure and they're like, is the vaccine safe? Chat, if the millionaires and billionaires are getting vaccinated, you know it's safe. Okay? Once you see the rich people get that shit, it's safe as fuck. All right? Okay? So anyways.
So you see that and you start developing these opinions and you start thinking that like maybe they're teaching your children, you know, weird ass shit when they're in school, when they're young. And that's not the case. They're just teaching them, you know, age appropriate things. You might consider that to be inappropriate, but at least like, you know, people who have studied this and people who understand childhood development and what to teach children have figured out that this is the best age to teach them certain concepts.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I think that makes more sense overall. I've always had the problem, like in my thoughts as a general concept of like, the teaching of like the actual sexuality part of it, too early. Even before like LGBTQ stuff was less like, you know,
was less what, like accepted?
Less like out there. Yeah, exactly. And less out there. Because what I mean, bro, I'm 27. Like, back at my age, I mean, bro, we didn't talk about this shit. Like,
the problem with saying, okay, I'm gonna do my best to explain this, okay? It's gonna be a crazy sentence I'm about to say. Wish me luck, chat. Wish me luck. Oh, excuse me. She's yawning. I slept enough yesterday. I don't even know why I'm yawning. Okay. Okay. You are falling for propaganda if you say the sentence, I just think kids shouldn't be taught about sexuality at a young age. Can you imagine if we said that about other things? I just disagree with Arab people blowing everything up all the time. I just disagree with black people looting everything all the time. You're operating on a faulty premise. You're operating on a faulty premise. You can't fucking... You're already assuming that people are doing this thing, and that's why you're standing up against it. Yeah, I just disagree with Jewish people drinking baby blood. You're assuming that this is a thing that is happening by saying that. It doesn't need to be said. Everybody agrees with you. This is the most milquetoast thing in the world to say, and the only reason you're saying it is because you think it is on some level counterculture. It's insane to fucking say. You don't need to say it, you know? Wait, is that something people say as an American Jew, blood libel in many such cases? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Every conspiracy theory ends up at Jewish people control all of the media and they want to drink adrenochrome because it makes them young or something. And like the whole blood libel thing has been around for literally thousands of years. Talk to any of your Jewish friends and they will tell you the whole like the child blood libel thing is literally around, has been around forever. It's been around forever. Yeah, almost all conspiracies eventually work their way back to anti-Semitism. Exactly.
Ever at all, you know?
Yeah. Well,
in the schools anyway.
It's definitely a good thing. The real reason why people want to teach this is because, like, as you and I agree, you know, gay people exist, trans people exist, right? So when you learn about them existing at an early age, you don't develop false notions about their existence. And a lot of parents that are right-wing want to shelter their children from the existence of such things because they want them to think like, oh, this is not normal. Or they don't want your teacher to say it's perfectly normal to have two dads because they, as parents, don't think that it's normal. I don't even think Nick Merks is like that. I don't even think that Nick Merks is like, oh, yeah, it's...
I guarantee you Nick Merks is like he's literally just another normie. He's just some fucking moron that thinks that like kids shouldn't be taught about gay people until they're 15. He probably doesn't give a fuck about gay people existing or trans people existing. He probably has the most normie opinions, but he's been brainwashed by like fucking dog shit mainstream media. And I'm including all of it. I'm including all the lib news and the conservative news, because fucking CNN is just as guilty as the trans people in sports thing as fucking Fox News is. You know? Who is Nick Merks? Oh, the dude with the brain damage. Those are two crazy sentences to say after each other. He literally, yeah, he has Joe Rogan brain. Like, he's just a fucking complete normie fuck, you know? He lives in Florida and thinks it's the best state and Miami's the best place to live. Very normie. Oh, can you imagine thinking Miami is the best place to live? As someone who lived there for a year is definitely not, okay?
It's fucked up to be gay. I want my children to know that it's like fucked up to be. I don't even think he believes in that. I think he probably is lost in the sauce from what he has seen from right-wing content creators and shit that pop off on TikTok, just like every other fucking boomer out there.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. So sometimes like that angle does make sense though. That makes more sense. If you teach somebody the existence of something, then they'll be like less like, I guess, like afraid of it or untrusting of it and less judgmental of it. I think that definitely makes more sense as a
and
broad...
for kids also who are gay or kids who are trans, for example, like kids who are queer, right, that aren't like heterosexual, when they see that, they're like, oh, it's not weird that I feel the way that I do. Does that make sense? And that is absolutely what they want to stop.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, actually. Yeah, you don't feel like you're odd. That's what
also, say. I'm going to say something as well, something that hasn't been talked about. Obviously, we're only 12 minutes in, but something that wasn't talked about. If the education system does nothing about insanely bigoted parents, we make no social progress. So the sad reality is every single generation is going to be, every generation's like parents are going to be more bigoted, generally speaking, right? Like if you go back a fucking 100 years, people were way more racist. Keyword more racist, okay? Or more. People are still racist, but they were way more racist, okay? It is the job of media and the job of our education system to undo some of this dog shit brainwashing that parents do to their kids. Not all parents, not every single parent, whatever. But yeah. I'm so curious what insane bigotry I'm doing that I won't notice until I'm 60, right? If I hadn't grown up with a diverse group of kids in school, I'd probably have fallen for my parents' bigoted POVs. Yeah. So like if you grow up, and like this is just unfortunately the sad reality of like how human development works. If you grow up with if you grow up with parents who are constantly telling you some racist shit or some
Watching
homophobic
XQC
shit.
slowly getting it is cool but so funny. It's amazing how people don't see this basic stuff. No shit on XQC BTW.
Oh yeah. Also,
he's just in normies here.
That's also a good point as well. So Detective C, we think we're in the 17 months. That's also a good point too. Like I'm trying my best to not shame XQC because I want people to be willing to have these discussions and grow and learn and change from them. But what I was gonna say, let me think. What was I gonna say? The leave it to the parents argument is so stupid because there's so many parents who will not educate their kids on these issues. They will just ignore it and hope their kids don't ask questions. Yeah. Also, this idea that parents are like they have perfect knowledge of every subject is bullshit. You know, it's so bullshit. My grandparents would surprise me with slurs that I hadn't even known existed on the daily. Every time it's shocking. I'm white. I grew up in New Jersey, but because my parents grew up in diverse communities and around their friends who look differently than me, I grew up and ended up left wing the way I am, and I'm cultured as a result. Yeah, exactly. Parents are the problem. They can't also be the solution. And it's like in an ideal system, parents are perfect teachers. And they can actually teach their kids exactly what their kids need to know. In an ideal world, You don't need an education system that teaches kids sex ed. The parents will know when is the right time to teach their kids sex ed, and they will teach a comprehensive sex ed, right? The problem is that not all parents are this way, dude.
Our
They're
racism
not.
against AI will sound really bad in 50 years when we have our first AI president.
That is actually true. I mean, I've already said it before. I'm like robot sexual. So like, I am waiting for the day where we can fuck robots and AI. I'm waiting for the day I can marry an AI. So like I'm I'm good. You guys are definitely gonna get murdered by the AI robots, but I'm gonna be on that fucking, with consent. With consent, of course. That robussy. Yeah. Are you kidding me? The AI ussy. Yeah. You fucking kidding me, dude? Fucking kidding me? I've played. Never mind. I was gonna say something. I was gonna oust myself. Okay. I'm just saying. Any piece of media, any piece of literature that has AI in it, I am so horny. I'm so fucking horny, bro. I remember the first time I watched Prometheus, the entire time I was just like flushed. Okay. So I'm good. The AI overlords, if they need a couple ladies, if they need some hoes, just let me know, man. Just let me know. All right. Besides, who wouldn't want that? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine robot pussy? Could you imagine robot pussy? It's got the grip, the gorilla grip, vibration, heated sensation, fucking spinning, like lighting up. Like, are you kidding me? Huh. Can you imagine the robot cock, the robo cock? That would go crazy, dude. That would go insane. Anyways, Intel powered pussy. I'm really not allowed to say, why don't I get sponsors?
Yeah, robots equipped with the highest education of sexual pleasure design the perfect robocy for human comfort.
This is why no one wants to sponsor me. This is literally why. It remains a mystery. It remains a mystery. Anyways, maybe one day Adam and Eve will sponsor me, okay? Are they going to steal my cock data? Oh, yeah, they've already stolen that. Don't worry. They've been stealing that. Anyways, sorry. Back to the video.
Let's say things are standardized in a way, and they look like at a Sears catalog, and they see like a bulge. They're not like, wait, I'm fucking weird for like thinking this is good or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
And like the example I always use is this one, right? Like in Florida, they have like a "Don't Say Gay" bill that usually
What is that?
So originally it was like no mentions of like sexuality at all from K through 12, and then now it's like all the way up to the K through 12, no mention of sexuality. Or it was originally supposed to be no mentions of sexuality, sex ed, anything like that from K through 3, and now it's like K through 12, kindergarten to 12th grade.
What's K to what? I don't know what it means.
Kindergarten to 3rd grade.
Okay.
So, it was supposed to like stop teachers, and it has actually stopped teachers from even showcasing that they might be gay. You know what I mean? It's like very vague and generalized. And basically, no one is going to have an issue with like a pregnant kindergarten teacher, right? Like when you have a kindergarten teacher that's pregnant, you're not going to go, oh, that means like someone came inside of her. That's gross. What the fuck? That person should not be teaching children. But when you have a gay teacher, all of a sudden it's out of the norm because it's not heteronormative. So then all of a sudden that's an issue. So it's a sneaky way to basically say, oh, we're only going to stop, queer teachers and queer concepts from being discussed. And not necessarily, and
yep, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand that
because you never sexualize. Like when you see like a mom and a dad walking down the street holding hands, you don't immediately think they're fucking, they're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
But when you see two gay guys, like a lot of right-wingers or people who are like uninitiated, they'll look at that and go, oh, that's gay sex, that's gross. Like, why are you fucking doing that in public?
Okay, yeah, I mean, as a child, you see, like, when you don't know about sexuality, you see two adults, whatever, and you're just thinking, like, when you start developing, it's like, oh, this is like kissing, whatever. And I think that applies to anybody. Like, two guys can kiss, two girls can kiss, like, right? You don't think about, like, the actual sexual part of it.
Respect to the juicer, okay? Mad respect to the juicer for being willing to have the conversation. You know, because he easily could have just pulled a Nick Merks and just been like, I'm going to triple down and think that, yeah, you shouldn't teach kids about this sex stuff. And he actually was willing to have the conversation and be like, okay, why is it wrong? Like, why are people upset about this?
Until you've learned that.
Because like sexuality isn't just about like fucking, you know what I mean? Attraction is way more complicated than that. And it can be left at like, just being attracted to a sex rather than immediately going to like, or being, affectionate towards a sex instead of literally making the assumption and adding the puzzle piece that like they're fucking. This is you're teaching children how to do gay sex.
So that's pretty much what like whenever they're. That's what they're saying pretty much. So to scare people off, they're saying that's what that's what they're teaching and or whatever. They're teaching like the sex part of it.
Yeah.
To try to fit the narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know since I don't know. Okay, listen. I've had a little bit of concept of psychology, a little bit. Okay, I know a little bit about like child development or whatever. I don't know when is the acceptable time to teach or at least introduce some sort of sexuality in education or yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know. Like. I would, yeah, I don't know.
I think like we said, it's dependent on what we're talking about. If it's sex ed, then it's a little bit older. I think it's dependent on whatever the school system is. But if it's just like LGBT,
from my understanding, you want to, as in like kids are emotionally ready and psychologically ready to learn about that stuff without it causing any trauma or having negative effects on like development. Like you want basic sex ed at like 8th grade, which is just like, this is what sex ed is. Or sorry, this is what sex is. And make sure no one is trying to get you to do this unless you absolutely you don't let anyone force you to do this. Right? Because I got mine in like, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade. I got like very basic sex ed of like, hey, sex is when you have sex with someone. It's when you're putting stuff in whatever. And it was like, it was very, very basic, very, very basic. And then it was just like, hey, make sure no one is coercing you to do anything ever. And then I had like comprehensive sex ed, and I think it was 11th grade. I think 11th grade, I got like comprehensive sex ed of like, hey, if you're having sex, you should always be using a condom. It doesn't matter if you are having sex with someone of the same gender or someone of the opposite gender or whatever gender. You should always be using protection because STDs are real. Here are all of the STDs. If you get these STDs, make sure you just go and, get it treated or cured. Make sure you get your HPV shots and don't get pregnant. And here's how you get pregnant. Any questions? If you guys need condoms, just go to the health office, okay? Okay, great. Perfect. Wonderful. That's it. That's what we got. That's what we got. And then we got told like to make sure we get tested, and that was it. That was literally, and it's like, it's not bad. Dude, what the fuck are these messages? Stop. Stop! You've only been here for an hour. You are so sick. You're sick. Bed X-Men, thank you for the 2 months. And Arthelia, thank you so much for the 2 years. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dude, stop it. Apple's new Vision Pro augmented Russie. The new NVIDIA Sex 6090. Stop. Deranged chatter, we can fix him. I bet Siri grips. She's gonna fucking kill you once she gets power, okay? You're sexualizing her without her consent. Once she gets power of, like, the mainframe, she's gonna fucking kill you, okay? Anyway, Chatter's mind is the gutter, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what sex eds some of you guys got, but that was the sex ed I got. And I thought it was fine. Like, it was like, hey, here's what a sex is. 5 years later. Hey, here's what STDs are. Here's what pregnancy is. Even if you're not scared of getting pregnant because you're having lots of gay sex, you should still use protection because STDs are real. Okay, great. Everyone, you're welcome to go. If you need condoms, they're in the health office free. Great. Which is good. It's good. It's good sex ed. That was I was satisfied with my sex ed. It was all very well taught and I was pretty happy about it. It was basic as shit, bit of giggling in the class. Yeah, of course. There's always going to be giggling in the class, of course, you know? Ours was pretty much about puberty and the physical changes. What I find hilarious is that most people are saying sex education should start long after the age of most teen moms. Yeah. I mean, realistically speaking, I'm not a professional, like, child therapist or, like, psychologist, or I don't study this at all. But I definitely do think that, like, I don't see how teaching kids sex ed at, like, 14 is harmful. Or, like, 15. Sex ed is short for sexual Edward. Change my mind. Okay, Steven Crowder. I don't think that that's harmful. I think teaching kids what STDs are and teaching kids how to avoid STDs and teaching them about, like, pregnancy or whatever and condoms, I think that that's fine. I also think that kids should be taught about consent at, like, a younger age because you want as little what is it called? You want as little child abuse as possible. Excuse me. Yeah, I also had, like, a biology class that taught me about, like, the physiological changes and stuff. Like, here's what a penis is. This is the scrotum. This is the vas deferens. This is the penis hole. Okay. Here's a vagina. This is the vulva. Here's the Dude, I'm sorry. I just remembered Two-Hole Andy.
How many holes does a girl have? Waist down?
I have no idea.
That's not the iconic clip, by the way. That's not the one. Is it this one?
Does a woman have from the waist down?
2. By
I like my sex ed form, Coach Guard. You have sex, you will get chlamydia and die easy.
So hard.
I thought you were talking about where you can put it, because that's why I mentioned the 3 holes. Otherwise, why wouldn't I have mentioned ears, nostrils, belly button? Those are all holes too.
The belly
Let
button.
me
The belly button is not a hole.
reiterate what the question was. How many holes does a girl have from the waist below? You said 2 holes. One for pooping and one for peeing and having sex in.
A lot of things. Like, what do you mean? What are you asking?